Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by the Margaret A. Cargill Foundation and by WTIU members. Thank you.
Hey TaylorBot, are you ready for the show?
TaylorBot is ready to commence Friday Zone protocol.
Fantastic! Today's show is all about machines.
You mean like robots?
Yeah, and physics and motion and all that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
On with the show.
You're not alone. You're in the zone. So hang up the phone and get in the zone. Get in the zone. The Friday Zone. You're in the zone. The Friday Zone. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited. Get in the zone. Everyone is the Friday Zone.
Welcome to the Friday Zone. I'm Taylor, and we've got an action-packed show in store for you guys today. And joining me in this zone to talk about machines and motion is our good friend Stacy from the WonderLab Museum. Stace,
hi.
Thanks for coming in again. Always good to see you.
Yep, good to be back.
So, what do we got?
All right, well, I know you're talking about machines, so I thought simple machines would be a great thing to bring on.
Cool.
We're going to learn about some simple machines, do some experiments, and we're going to see what kind of work they do.
Cool, fun stuff. All right.
So the first thing to know with simple machines is, for one, they're simple. There's 4 different kinds of simple machines. One would be a lever, so this is a crowbar.
What does a lever help with? What's
a lever helps to lift heavy objects.
Okay.
All right. They give us, simple machines give us something called mechanical advantage.
Burglars like that machine.
Yes, burglars like that kind of thing. A wedge is another kind of a simple machine, so this helps to transfer motion.
Okay. Where might you see a wedge normally used?
A doorstop is an excellent example.
Definitely.
These are actually used for helping to split wood and to brace trees when you're cutting down trees.
Cool.
Gives you a little more control. Of course, wheel and axle.
Nice little bicycle tire there. Is that your old bike?
That is not my old bike. Okay. And one that we see a lot is a ramp, an inclined plane. So we see these a lot. They help with accessibility. And it basically allows us to move things up with less force.
Cool.
All right. So let's say, for example, that this were a very heavy rock, right? And I wanted to lift it to this point. You could either lift it straight up, which would be pretty quick.
Exert all that extra energy.
Or if it's too heavy, you can simply roll it up a ramp. All right. We're not rolling real good.
Now, when did these things first start coming into use and stuff?
Oh, they've been around for thousands and thousands of years.
It's like when the caveman invented the wheel. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
So yeah, they've been around. People have realized that simple machines can help us do work. And then they started to realize if we put them together, we can make what's called a complex or a compound machine.
Okay.
So a really familiar one would be, well, actually before that, would be a screw.
That's a complex machine.
What you don't realize is that this is actually an inclined plane that creates the screw.
Yeah.
And so it does help to transfer motion. We also have pulleys.
Right.
And then even more complicated, when we put things together, we have things like motors.
Like
So yeah, you have all these moving parts that transfer motion around. This has gears in it, which are wheel and axle. It has some lever structures inside that move things back and forth and up and down. A combination of
all these different things coming together to make one thing work. Really
exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. So the big question is, what do these things do for us? Why do we do them? So we're going to do a little experiment to show, and we're going to need an extra person. You got anyone around?
Audrey. Where's Audrey? Audrey, come on in. Audrey's going to help out. How you doing, Audrey?
Hi.
Hi. All right, you ready to do some science?
Yeah, I am.
Excellent.
Audrey's born for science. Let's do this.
Born for science. All right. So we are going to do a demonstration of something called a block and tackle, which is kind of like
football?
A pulley system.
Oh, okay.
Close. So it's a simple pulley system, something along these lines. And what we're going to do is the two of us are going to hold these sticks.
Okay.
Audrey is going to try and pull us together.
Right? Good old pulley system.
Yes. So you're going to take that. And the first thing that we're going to do is wrap this around.
Okay.
All right, Audrey, let me have you grab this.
Just once?
Okay.
Just once for right now.
Okay.
All right, now we're 2 full-grown people here,
Yes.
and Audrey is
almost full grown.
Almost full-grown, and Audrey is actually the smallest out of us. All right, so let's spread apart a little bit more here.
Okay.
All right, now Taylor and I are going to pull away from each other as hard as we can, and you're going to try and pull us closer together.
Okay.
All right, so on the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3.
I'm pulling, and I'm pulling.
All right, let's stop. All right.
How was that, Audrey?
It's a little rough.
Little
but
rough?
A little bit.
All right, so we are now going to give you mechanical advantage.
Okay.
All right, so we are going to wrap this around a couple more times.
Okay. What does mechanical advantage mean?
It means it's kind of complicated to explain.
Yeah.
There's a lot of complicated formulas, but basically it allows our force that we're exerting to be magnified in a way. So it multiplies the force, but we'll see there's a drawback to that here in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so you ready, Audrey?
All right, here
All
I
right,
go.
count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
3. Woo! Okay, hey, look.
Oh, look at her go.
Hey, look
at
at
her
me
go.
go.
I'm pulling pretty hard.
Look. Yeah, do I keep going? Or are you going to fall, Taylor?
I got it.
Okay, I'm going to keep going.
All right, I think that's, yeah, and the rug's moving too.
Yeah.
You're
Look
moving.
at all that.
Double the mechanical advantage.
All right.
That's right.
So, how was that one?
That one was a lot easier.
A lot
that
easier.
one was very easy.
Excellent. And
So
so,
the
what
mechanics
we've seen,
were to her advantage.
yes, exactly.
That's how we'll explain it.
And so you just demonstrated exactly why we use simple machines, and that's because they make our work easier. Okay.
Cool.
All right, I'm going to set this over here. So this right here is a prototype of an exhibit that we're going to have at WonderLab.
Oh, great.
So our exhibits department has been working on some really cool exhibits that allow us to mess around with simple machines and learn how they work and how they move, what they do for us. And so this is an example of something, although the real exhibit is really cool, way bigger.
When can we expect to see
awesome.
that in the museum?
So that will be opening on June 5th.
Soon. Okay.
Yes, June 5th
Great.
of 2011 will be open through the summer. So we're going to have things like this, pulleys. We're going to have a pulley chair where kids can actually lift themselves off the ground.
Ah.
And they'll see how easy that can be. We're going to have a giant lever. We're going to have a big giant biomechanical hand, and they'll see how gears and things work. All different kinds of stuff.
So what does this bad boy do?
All right, this is an example of how a pulley makes our work easier, but it will also demonstrate to us kind of the drawback of that. So, Taylor, go ahead and pull each of these one at a time.
One at a time.
And just tell us what you notice.
Okay. About 5 pounds, right? Okay.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Yep.
All right, and one more.
Huh. I think I'm onto something here, Stace.
All right.
I think as I went down the line, they started to get a little bit easier.
Exactly. But if you lift each weight just by the handle, you'll notice that they're all exactly the same weight.
Right.
So what was happening is that with our pulley system here, we have one pulley. Here we have one at the top, one at the bottom. So we have 2. So we've doubled our pulleys. And this one right here, there's 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. So we've doubled it again.
So is it almost as if, like, if I were to think if there were 2 of me helping out with this, or is that do I have that wrong? Is that like because we only have 1 here, now we have 2? We have 2 strings here. Is that
not quite? Again, it's real complicated to explain some of the physics of this, and it would take us a while. But basically, it's multiplying your force. Okay?
That's what it is.
So not that there's additional force going into it. You're using the same amount of force. It's just using it in a different way. All right, so we're going to do a little experiment, though, and each of us is going to pull one of these. We're going to take the same number of steps back, and we're going to see if there's any difference in the results of our experiment, okay? So let's come around the front. Okay, so each of us grab one here, and let's all stand pretty straight. And let's just take, hold it out, and let's just take 2 steps back, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2. All right, now look at our balls, and what do we notice about all 3 of these weights?
They're at different levels.
Yep. So there's our trade-off.
Yeah.
Even though it's harder for me to pull just this one, These right here, it's easier, but we're actually in that at ease, we're losing some of the actual energy that goes into the lifting. So it's easier, but you're still going to have to do more work in order to
We
make
have one
up
more
for it.
experiment, right?
We do, yes.
And we'll do that right after this.
Almost everybody has played the game of bowling, and if you have, then you have used a pin setter. Most likely you have never seen it, but it has assisted you every time you rolled a ball down the lane. And we're here at Classic Lanes in Bloomington to find out more about this impressive machine.
Hey everybody, it's Emily. I'm here behind the scenes at Classic Lanes with one of the most very important people here, my friend Vinny. Hey Vinny, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. My name is Minnie Smith and I am the head mechanic here at Classic Lanes.
So Vinny, what does your job actually entail?
It actually entails taking care of these pin setters, making sure that the bowlers stay happy.
All these right here. And how many lanes do you guys have at Classic Lanes?
We have 32 lanes.
So you have 32 big monsters behind you to take care of. So before we get to these machines behind me, we actually know the game of bowling to be called something else.
Actually, the technical term for bowling is American 10 pins. Years ago, it was actually called candlestick bowling, candle pin bowling, or duck pin bowling, which was about the size of a candlestick, and the ball that you used was actually about the size of a shot put or a skee ball. Well, the weight of the ball has definitely changed. Back then it was like a pound or two. Now they range anywhere from about 10 to 16 pounds to the pins now we use are 3 pounds, 6 ounces a piece.
So let's get to these machines behind me. What are these actually called and what do they do?
This is actually the Brunswick A2 pin setter, one of the most popular and widely used machines.
Show us a little bit about how they work.
Sure, absolutely.
Cool.
Okay. When the bowler initially throws their first ball, it will come in contact with this, which is known as a pit cushion. This will in turn raise, allowing the ball to come through. It will actually come in contact with this, which is known as the ball wheel, which will carry the ball up through the lift rods, onto this ball track, down through, and into that channel, which will then send the ball back up to the players. This machine has actually over 300 consecutive moving parts at the same time. It has roughly 4,000 parts per machine. Each machine actually contains 21 pins per machine.
So not 10 like the ones we see out there?
No, you actually have 10 pins on the deck, but the machine is continuously cycling up, putting another 10 pins in. The pins will actually be on here, and they call this the shaker board. We'll actually shake the pins into this elevator, which will then carry the pins up here, turn them around, send them up the cross conveyor into the turret. So when actually their bowler throws their initial ball, if it happens to be a strike, there's 10 new pins already ready to go.
So you're a busy person with 32 lanes, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Vinny, thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge about bowling and behind the scenes of it as well. I think I'm ready to finally go take on those lanes.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'll see you guys on the lane. All right, yes! What? Again? Good. Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, you can come back. Oh my gosh. A strike! Awesome. Now, you know what they say, practice makes perfect, so I'm gonna stay here, bowl a couple more frames. For now, this field trip is over. Send it back to you guys in the zone.
And we're back with Stacy. Now, Stacy, we have time to talk about one more machine. What is it?
This is a Catapult.
Cool.
It's a compound machine, so it's made up of some simple machines. We have a lever like this, and it goes on an axle, so we basically have a wheel and axle. The kids might recognize this made out of Kiva blocks, which we have at the museum. This is also part of our new summer exhibit.
Oh, great.
Opening June 5th, running through September 23rd for the summer of 2012. And with this, the kids can use the...
Now, Audrey made a nice little tower here.
Yeah.
See if you can get it.
Their motion.
Oh, right over the top.
All right, you try.
Let me try one. Okay, here we go. Aim. Oh, nice one. Well, if you guys like to experience some amazing machines like this in person, plan a visit to Bloomington's WonderLab by visiting their website at wonderlab.org. There you can enjoy all kinds of hands-on fun, including these cool experiments we tried today. So Stacy, I want to thank you so much for coming in again. Always so much fun. Now, look at some fun in physics in this Friday Zone Flashback.
If elementary schools can hold open house events for kids and their families, shouldn't colleges hold open house events catering to this crowd too? At Indiana University, the faculty, staff, and students belonging to the departments of physics and astronomy certainly think so.
So we're really trying to reach out to the community in Indiana and show them what's going on here in the physics department and give them a chance to see the interesting stuff that we do and let them play around with a few of the toys that we like and maybe get some kids interested in science and physics in particular.
Before going any further, I asked Hal to define the science of physics.
It's trying to understand the natural world, trying to understand our universe is the quick definition. This is very popular with children. There's lots of optical effects there, and so kids can learn about how to make colored shadows. They can make their own Venom disc. Venom disc is a toy that was invented in the 19th century that shows how the eye reacts to color.
Spotting a cutie sporting a pair of ultra-hip rainbow glasses, we just had to put a pair on our camera to show you how diffraction produces interference, thereby separating different colors or wavelengths of light.
Then there's the Electromagnetism Room, and there you learn all kinds of interesting things about electricity and magnetism and all the wacky things that they do.
From there, we headed off to the Mechanics Room, where we met up with Rick Van Kooten, a professor and chair of the physics department.
We have something called the Bernoulli Effect, which describes how airplanes fly. That air takes longer to go over the top of a wing than on the bottom, so it moves faster. So then there's overall lift. And we use that to we suspend a ping pong just in midair with a stream of air. And people are always amazed that they can actually do that.
So we're in the Outdoor Exploratorium, which is where we get to do hands-on interactions of things in physics that violate your common sense, okay?
The spinning merry-go-round is meant to represent Earth as it rotates on its axis. On Earth, the Coriolis effect deflects moving bodies to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Once the merry-go-round was spinning, it was impossible to send a soccer ball to the person sitting straight across from me on the ride. After my dizziness had passed, I checked out the tablecloth pull, the magnetic pendulum, and dry ice bowling, an activity focusing on the effect of friction, or a lack thereof.
First, we do it with a wooden block, which has so much friction that it stops almost immediately. And then we give them a block of dry ice, and they push that, and there's no friction, and it zips along and takes out all the bowling pins.
After spending the day at the Physics and Astronomy open house at Indiana University, I came to an important conclusion. Physics is fun.
Dear Inventoon Guy, this letter is to let you know that I think your inventoons really stink. Oh!
Today's inventoon is the Pencil Sharpener.
Aha!
Before the Pencil Sharpener, people had to sharpen their pencils with a knife.
Uh-oh.
Thankfully, in 1897, a man named John Lee Love created the first pencil sharpener. It was a little box with gears. You put the pencil in, twisted it, and the gears would grind your pencil to a perfect point while the shavings stayed in the box. Unfortunately, for some people, it took a little while to catch on.
And we're back. Today's show has been an exciting exploration of machines and motion. So what better project than making real, working rockets? Are you guys ready?
Yeah!
Now, this is my favorite kind of project because it's also a little messy and a little dangerous. So here's what you'll need. You'll need some paper. Paper! She's got the paper. Some markers or crayons. Scissors. We've got our scissors. Scissors, they've got the scissors, and tape or glue. You got your tape and glue?
Tape.
Tape, glue, and you'll also need an Alka-Seltzer tablet and a 35mm film can. These can be kind of hard to find sometimes, but if you go to any photo counter at any store that develops film, they'll usually have some set aside and they'll give them to you for free, which is awesome. We love free stuff. So, an Alka-Seltzer tablet, if you don't know, is a combination of sodium bicarbonate, potassium bicarbonate, which are both bases, and anhydrous citric acid. Now, do we know what happens when you mix these two?
I don't.
No. Well, this is what happens. The bubbles creates carbon dioxide, and if this reaction, you put them in there, it will create a lot of pressure and more pressure and more pressure. And this pressure, when you put the water and the Alka-Seltzer tablets in, will build and build and build and build and build. And then what's going to happen? Pop! And then it will send our rockets up into the air. So enough with the science. Let's get building. So we're going to start off. Everyone get a piece of paper. Grace, Travis. Okay. Now what you want to do, guys, is you want to fold. You can decorate it first if you want, but I'm going to show you guys how to actually build it. You're going to roll your paper up and get it into this cone shape, okay? Okay, so I'm just rolling it like this. And you might want to, when you get it a nice point in the top, you might have to kind of finagle it around and twist it a little bit. See, because I need to get that point up top. Yeah, this might be one of the harder parts, guys. I'm just showing you guys how to actually make it, but if you want to start decorating right now, you're more than welcome to. Once you start rolling it, I'm going to get a little piece of tape, and I'm just going to make sure that mine stays this shape, okay, guys? So once I tape it there, it's kind of a weird shape, and we need this film canister to fit, but right now, that's way too big. So I'm going to cut it down a little bit so it does fit.
Just keep it tight. It's getting there. This is definitely a teamwork kind of a project, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
All right, see? Can you see that? I'll take this. If you want to grab a piece of tape,
Perfect.
Put it on there so we don't lose it.
So I've cut mine down to size, and I got it to fit my film canister. Now the way you put your film canister on when you get to this part is you want it to be upside down, because when the pressure builds, the cap will shoot off and it'll go up this way. So we want to make sure that we keep this upside down and the lid is facing the bottom. So now I'm going to tape mine around the bottom. I'm going to put this around. If you're having a hard time, you want to make sure that the top part has a good point. The smaller it is here, the bigger it'll be in the part where you put your film canister. Twist. This is a little hard sometimes.
Alright, see? You're gonna put your Alka-Seltzer here.
Okay.
That.
Perfect. So now we put on ours, we added some accessories. So we've got the wings on the bottom and stuff like that. So let me grab some paper, cut some wings out.
Right.
I'm gonna cut that at a diagonal. Oh.
Can I see yours? You're almost done.
So see guys, now I put my wings on. It's starting to look like a rocket, right?
There you go.
All right, well, these rockets are really coming along, so stick around and we'll be launching our rockets right after this.
You got it.
Isabel!
Yes, Dad?
Time for geometries.
As you wish.
Rotate x-axis.
Rotate x-axis.
Rotate y-axis.
Rotate y-axis.
Rotate z-axis.
Rotate z-axis.
Rotate all axes.
Rotating all axes. Dad, I fell on my oops axis.
Dizzy spell. I think that's enough geometries.
Cecilia and Ainsley are here to share an action-packed catapult you can build right at home. You'll need a small shoebox, a couple pencils, some rubber bands, and a plastic spoon. And of course, some ammunition, in this case, marshmallows. First, connect the pencils with rubber bands to form a T shape. On the long end, attach the spoon. Connect a couple rubber bands to the short end of the pencil. Then, poke the pencil T through the box near the opening up towards the front of your catapult. Attach the rubber band to the back of the box. Voila! A simple shoebox catapult. Pull back the arm, load your projectile, and fire away. Experiment with different box sizes and pencil positions to see what works best. A tasty project that takes the idea of a food fight to a whole new level. Thanks, guys.
And we're back, and everybody's lined up, and we are about to shoot these rockets off. But first, let me talk about the safety of these things, because I said earlier these can be a little dangerous. So what we're going to do is we've already got the film canisters in the bottom of our rockets, and we've got it filled about halfway up. So what we're going to do is everyone hold up your Alka-Seltzer tablets. Everyone show at home your little tablets. What we're going to do is you're going to drop it in. Don't do it yet, but you're going to drop it in, okay? And then you're going to quickly put the lid on, make sure it's nice and tight. You're gonna put it on the ground and we're all gonna back up, because what can happen is, you wanna fix that? Okay, that's good. And then you're gonna back up, because what would happen is, say you're standing there and you're thinking it's taking too long, and you put it down, and you're like, oh geez, this rocket's taking forever. Wanna pop, and then right in your eye, and you'll get a black eye, and that wouldn't be good. Okay, so, everybody, I'm gonna put this
So
like
Taylor,
that.
I'm filling out the rest of these with water right now.
Everybody get behind the
You're
blue
on
line.
Alka-Seltzer count. Can I fill yours
Behind the
up,
blue
please?
line.
I hope it doesn't hit me.
Okay.
I hope I can be behind.
Behind the line, guys, behind the blue line.
Take a
Safety
step to
first,
your left.
safety first.
That's good. There you go.
Okay.
Last one.
One more. Control, mission to launch. We are ready for takeoff. And 3, 2, 1. Drop it in. Close your lids.
Where's your lid?
Help your neighbor. When you got it, put it out here and then step back. Everybody got it? Everybody got yours?
Go back.
You got yours?
It's okay.
You can't get it? Oh! Look at all these rockets shooting off.
They're going
You
all
got yours?
over.
Oh, it's messy. I said these might get messy, guys. Whoa. Did you guys go? Woo! Look at that rocket. Did you get yours?
You know what's
And you
crazy?
know what's awesome about these? Wow! One
more.
One more. Oh no, it's gonna shoot off. It's not gonna go up, it's gonna go out.
It really will.
All right. Anyways, and if you guys at home create your own rockets, we would love to see them. They're so much fun. You can connect with us on our website, fridayzone.org, and you can send us your photos or videos, and maybe you'll even see them wind up on an upcoming episode. From our website, you can play games, also watch episodes, and even see behind-the-scenes photos from this week's craft. But for now, remember to live, learn, and play the Friday Zone way. We'll see you here next week. Cool. That was awesome. Who wants to do it again? I think we're going to do it. Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by the Margaret A. Cargill Foundation and by WTIU members. Thank you.